Now I'll call the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and pledge of allegiance. Lord, be with us today as we meet. Grant us the wisdom to know what we must do, the will to want to do it, the courage to undertake it, the perseverance to continue to do it, and the strength to complete it. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held January 4th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. At this time, we'll have the hearing of the guests. Let me remind everyone you have approximately 3 minutes to do your presentation. So if you would, rise, state your name, and where you're from, purpose of your business. Mr. Parsons.
Good morning, Commissioners. It is interesting to be here in a citizen role. So Rick Parsons, now a citizen of Carbon County, previous chief and previous coordinator for both the drug courts and the veteran court. I'm just here to support the position of a treatment court coordinator. We've talked, all three of us have talked individually about all the great work that we were able to accomplish together. One of those things is the treatment courts. And the reason why I was here was not because someone reached out to me from the courts. Participants reached out to me. And I think that's important. They're the ones who reach out to me because treatment courts save lives. There are people in this treatment court that would not be here if it wasn't for the treatment court. There would be just some statistic somewhere out there. Treatment courts work. This is one of the greatest things that Carbon County has implemented is the treatment courts in this county. And we have talked about in the past about having a treatment court coordinator. I can say that last year when I submitted my proposal for the budget for the previous year, that was included in there. Even though it might not have been officially included in previous budgets, but every year that I worked for this county, we talked about the need of a treatment court coordinator. This is not a new concept. The other thing that I want to point out is when you look at treatment courts across Pennsylvania, the vast majority have treatment court coordinators. My previous county, before this, we had a separate coordinator for every court. So they had a mental health court, a veterans court, and they had a drug court. And there was a coordinator who ran each one of those courts. In addition, a treatment court coordinator will just make the program better. I played both roles. You guys all know me. I never worked a 40-hour work week because I died for this place, to be honest with you. Worked hours and hours. I could not do even half of what is needed to be done to be an effective drug treatment coordinator. I think I was really good at it, but just think about how much better these programs can be if there is that treatment court coordinator position. I just pray that all the work that we've created, all the change that we've created in less than 7 months starts diminishing. That's all I have.
And before everybody speaks, I'm gonna put my stance on this, what it was, because I think I got a little bad publicity on this. And I was always for this from the beginning, Rick. You've always been dedicated, you've gone above. For us losing you, it was a bad thing. And I've always talked to you and Paul. My problem with this position is it's combined, okay? This position should be standalone, I think it should be a coordinator, and somehow it got combined to be a grant writer. Your job was to run this. You weren't a grant writer for the rest of the county. And we've been going through to get a grant writer. Now, all of a sudden, this is a grant writer that's in this. Last week, I got, the maintenance guy came in, he says, hey, I gotta go up the courts, up to Weatherly, and they got a grant for 6 desks. Never knew about it. I want this position to be the, whatever, I think the title, as a coordinator could stand, but I don't think it has to be slash, a grant writer. That should be incorporated into that. And I just want to go a little bit further on this. I want to tell everybody here, I spoke at the event 2 years ago. My son went through a program, and he is making more money than I am right now, and I see this works, but I need this done right. Combining them 2 jobs is not gonna work. You're gonna stress somebody out. You've seen how it was like with the recidivism up at the prison. What was that called up there that we got rid of? And then somebody came in, they quit. And then, it was, I want somebody in this position that's gonna do the job, and it's coordinator. I don't need this person ordering desks for the rest of the, for the courts. And that's where I stand on it. And like I said, this job, and I think it was like it's not funded. There's a different situation on some of the budgets or some of the salaries that were funded, and that's something that was above what our salary study. This here was from a grant, and that costs the taxpayers nothing. It comes to a grant until the 2 years the grant would be up. And same thing what I told Paul. I said, Paul, you gotta get it in place and then put it into the budget. And I think that's where we're at. Paul's person is working out, at the public defender, and I'd like to see this here too. This program can work, but I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna settle for whatever we get. And I'd like to see, instead of 7 people going through the program, get 15. And I think with combining them jobs, and I said, I think you have to go back to the courts. You don't have to change my mind. I mean, I had all my documents from my kid was signed over when he went through the treatment. I see what the psychologist said. I've seen people that lost kids that want to get them back. I've seen what all of you people have done. And to go just to make it a 2-position job, that's what it is. This is not a part-time job. If we want to move forward in the county, that has to be a full-time job. And if they would come to the board meeting tomorrow and change that and take grant writer out of it and put it in, the grant writer is a job description of the coordinator. That's it. That's not for the rest of the county. That's a different thing. And that's what's wrong here. We're combining too many things and we're not getting what we want. And that's what I'm afraid of. This person is going to be a grant writer and it's going to be taken off of somebody else's plate. And I don't like that. And like I said, these programs work. I've seen it. I've seen people in my town that it works for. I've seen the people up at the prison. We've got how many people in the prison that shouldn't even be in there? And if you want to talk about saving money, get them out of prison, have them a productive life, and give them their families back. That's all I'm looking for. And that's what I said. I think we have to go back to the judge, and what they presented at the salary board meeting didn't settle with me. I wanted either full or they shouldn't have nothing at all. Because you're, and Rick, you left, and I don't know what it was, over the money, and you know how I was with all of this. I always stood behind that, and I think you know what my personal story was. And I would never vacate this position, but it has to be done right. Why are we making, and we always do that throughout the county. We take something and we want to try to get somebody into the position, and then we make it 2 positions that it looks like it's, that's money-wise. And it's not the money-wise. If we save 1 life, that person is worth having in that position. And I just don't like that having in there that it's a grant writer, because it's gonna be abused. And I can tell you, you might look at it a different way, but that position as a grant writer is gonna be abused. And it's gonna take away from the coordinator. Like Rick, you were in here and you were excellent at the grants. How much time would you had to do a grant to get desks or to get a bulletproof window for the building? You wouldn't have. And that's what I'm trying to get across to everybody. They gotta change that, and it gotta be a coordinator, and that's it, that has grant writing skills. That's about as far. Now, I mean, everybody can make their comments, whatever, but I think you see where I'm at. This has to go, and like I said, if it's in a grant, that money, even if it's not in the budget, You know, maybe there was a mistake that it wasn't put in the budget to fund this. But if there's a grant and we're getting for that, that would be a crime if we wouldn't have this position straightened out. That's about as far as, you know, what my stance is on it.
My comments, I 100% support it and the funding of the positions. The unfortunate part, because of salary board, if I'm correct, it was only one position that was approved, so we would have to readdress it with Mr. Honor's concern at the next salary board meeting, and I'll assure you that that will be put back in the agenda and see what we can do.
And that was my point, Rick. It has to be done right. I'm not doing it, and excuse my language, I'm not doing it half-assed. Plain and simple. It gotta be done right, because like I said, I've seen this work.
I completely agree with you. Oh, I mean, yes.
So Rick, I have my 2 cents, right? The value or the results of drug treatment court or veterans treatment court has not been contested by anyone sitting at this table. Rather, the issue, for those who attended the annual salary board, watched it live streaming or after the fact, knows the fact that the issue was the courts attempted to commingle, as Commissioner Arner stated, the grant writer and the coordinator. Yet they fully understood we were working on a separate track for a grant writer. They attempted to commingle it, and that did not fit well with what we thought was the best way to manage grants countywide, to include that grant writer should not be under the courts. It should fall under the Board of Commissioners to ensure that grant writer supported the entirety of county government and not just one specific branch, be it independent or otherwise.
And the courts can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of this position was the coordinator grant part would only be for the specialty courts and not involve the rest of the
And I didn't see a job description for this at all. We need a job description that I know that you're gonna get a coordinator that can write grants. I don't wanna see that it's a coordinator / grant writer, because like I said, it's gonna be abused, and the person that's doing the grant writing or the person that's doing the coordination is not gonna be able to do their job fully.
Mr. Greek.
And I'm not gonna reiterate what was there, but just to address that concern, because of the nature of the funding for the treatment courts, there is an aspect of being the coordinator that revolves around administering the grant, reapplying, redoing new statements, and I think that's what the court was getting at. I shouldn't speak for them, but I understand what you say. You need a job description so it shows what it is, but I don't think that in terms of administering the grant for drug treatment court would be that far off of what you're talking about. That's an integral part of being a coordinator, and I think that was on there. I don't think the courts want a grant writer just to write grants. I
don't know where it's at, Mike, because we were in the subject of talking about getting a grant writer, and I think when Rick was here, we were talking about a coordinator that had grant writing abilities. Now it's grant writer / whatever. And that's not gonna work for me.
I think the court needs to clarify that.
Exactly,
For the Board
and
of
they
Commissioners.
could call for an emergency meeting tomorrow, if they wanna hire somebody, then let's get it done. I don't need to sit for a month and just have, I had nothing, Mike. I had no job description.
Right, and I wasn't in the executive session for the court, so I don't know how it was presented that way.
And
But I know
Rick worked on
in doing it
this.
with Rick was that it was integral in every aspect of what we do in order to administer that grant and coordinate that whole program. The money that's needed is utilized within the coordination.
And I think
And
when,
you need that one person doing it. You can't take that and put it into, and have another individual in another department apply for and administer the grant. It's like my victim witness coordinator. They administer that RASA grant. They're filing the reports every week. It shouldn't be a separate grant writer for it, because they know exactly what they're doing.
and I need that in writing, I gotta see what that is, and I don't want somebody to come back for me 3 months from now, oh, they had to write a grant for something else. And that's not what this position was for from the beginning, and I think Rick intended it to be a coordinator, not / whatever, you know?
I think well exceeded my 3 minutes.
Yeah, no,
As
no,
usual, I don't think I've ever kept down to my time limits that you guys have given me. I just want to thank you, all three of you, for your,
Well, thanks for your excellent service that you provided to Carbon County and helping to get this thing going. I know the hours you put in, and that grant writer should have been included under his title, because that's what he did on the side. So
Yeah.
I'd want to keep moving here. I'd like to call on Kelly Ham,
Thank you, Councilman.
Administrator. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Mike.
I would just like to report in that the job description was submitted previously, so the commissioners should have that.
and I've never seen it,
It
okay?
was
I mean, I've
submitted.
seen parts of it, but I don't think there was ever a discussion of it. Like, we're having a discussion right now that I don't want it, grant writer in that job description. I don't think we ever had a discussion like that. It's brought to our attention, it's put on the agenda, and there's no discussion. This is a discussion that should have happened and make sure that this job is right. And like I said, I want it right. I'm not gonna have this person come in and then you hire somebody and all of a sudden, and we've seen it all the time, you put more on their plate and then they quit and go someplace else. And it's like, oh, it's the salary, they're leaving. No, we don't do the jobs properly sometimes. And that's what I want. I want this job done right, and that's the way it gotta be.
Okay, at this point in time, I really want to hear from the participants in the specialty courts and their families. So one at a time, please state your name and where you're from. Please speak loud and clear.
Hi, I'm Joseph Collins, participant in the drug program. I think a big concern we have is that this program might end, and we're all perfect examples that it works. I went from being a drug user to having custody of my 4 children. I work a full-time job in a management role, and I'm helping others in my community. So if there's any decisions being made on potentially ending the program, please consider the fact that, you know, this could all go away from me. It'd be detrimental to everything I've built in the last 8 months, and I'm probably doing the best that I've ever done in my life, being in this program. This program is the reason I'm alive right now, standing here talking to you. That's really all I have, but, you know.
I have
please
one
consider
question
that.
for you. How many days do you know?
How many days do I
How many
have?
days?
It's about 8 months.
About 8 months.
And in those 8
Please.
months, I've totally rebuilt my life. Judge Matika's gonna have something to say about that.
that is accurate.
That's all I have, I just.
And,
Thank
and,
you. Thank you
and
for
thank you
coming.
for that, because I said, everybody needs the opportunity, and I said, I'm still going back to this job, this duties of this person has to be focused on that. And if we're cutting back, people like him are not gonna get help, people like you are not gonna get help. And I'm not gonna settle for anything less than a grant, or a coordinator with a job description that has grant writing specifically to drug courts. Like, I don't need him to know how to write a grant for a swimming pool, okay? He needs to write a grant that, and Mike, you agree with me, or, you know, I see you shaking your head back there, but that's what has to be done. And I said, if it has to be an emergency meeting tomorrow, then let's get it over with.
Other participants or family members, please.
My name is Ryan Bellman. I'm a participant in treatment court. I'm the perfect example of this program works. I couldn't go 6 months without going to jail. And now I got over 9 months, going on 10 months clean. And I've never felt better, ever. You can even ask my father, like,
That's
Is that
great.
your
I
son
mean-
there shaking his head? Yes.
my nephew.
Oh,
Close enough. No.
I heard talk that they're talking about doing away with the program, and this program saved my life, so.
and I can see what your father has. I didn't sleep probably for 10 months until you finally admitted that you need help. And that's what this program is for. And like I said, even if it's only one, that's worth it. So I know where you're at.
Miss?
And it still bothers you. You wonder what's happening the next day.
My name is Melissa Sasonic. I'm sure you've all heard my name before. Yeah, for bad things. But now you're gonna see me new. I'm a new woman today, and it's because drug court, I had the opportunity to have the help to learn how to transition from the street and the jail life to the community life and be back in civilization. And I'm a mother today, I'm a grandmother today, I'm a daughter, and I'm a friend because I'm trusted. I trust myself, and Without this program, I would have died. I know I would have, because I didn't ever do anything else. I didn't know how to go from jail to the street and stay clean. I went from jail to getting home to back to jail. And how many overdoses I have under my belt, you know? But this is the reason why I'm here. I needed, you know, and I'm not just concerned for me, I'm concerned for my old friends in the future to have the opportunity for the same thing. I'm going to another funeral on Monday, you know, and it's getting less and less. People are being saved more and more because of drug court. You know, I can't even believe, like, I know everybody in here. And I just don't want to see Carbon County lose such a good thing, especially over a couple words on a paper that don't belong there. You know, so I'm just living proof.
How many days, how long?
412 days. Yeah. Yep.
Do you have anything to do? Anyone else? How's your catch? Yes, miss.
Hi, I wrote it down so I wouldn't go blank.
That's
My
good.
name's Candy Baylor, I'm from Bowmanstown. My life as an addict only brought me years of suffering, jail sentence, and failures. I never believed I was worth anything. Being told I would never succeed, I believed that about myself. Drug court giving me so many opportunities, resources, and good people standing behind me telling me I'm worth it. For the first time in over 30 years, I believe in worth saving. I made mistakes I never thought I'd recover from. It took me more than one for me to get the determination to fight with all my might to stay in the program. Thanks to drug court not giving up on me, I was able to overcome it and get my life together. I've had the most clean time now than I've ever had in my entire life. I'm very responsible and accountable for my actions. Judge Matita has never given up on me, so I'll never give up on myself. He is a fair and compassionate person. He can be tough, not always telling you what you want to hear, but always telling you what you need to hear. And that's what made the difference to me. I changed my ways, and I'm proud of how far I came. I would have nothing have it not been for drug treatment court. I've gained so much in my life, and I'm very serious about the program. I need this program as much as the air I breathe. My life would be a waste without the continuing support from the program, and the amazing team of people, and most of all, the judge who truly wants us to succeed in life. Just being good people, doing the right things, and making the right choices. Drug court has also helped me and my daughter together. We were spiraling in our addictions together, but now we are our biggest support to one another. The program saved both our lives, and we are so grateful for that. We hope the future of this program continues on. I can't imagine where we would end up if it were to close. Jail is a wasteland of nothing to look forward to, but a vicious cycle, coming out empty, scared, homeless, and not having anything to start over. Drug treatment court saves lives and breaks that cycle. Please don't give up on us and the program, and most of all, Judge Matita.
Thank you. How many days?
229.
Anyone else?
I'm Carolyn Williams. I previously worked for drug and alcohol, and I also got to sit in on the drug treatment court team at one time. I also, rewinding back many years, I helped stand outside with the petitions to start drug treatment court. So to say it hits a special spot for me is beyond that. And I felt honored during my time to be able to sit there and watch people change their lives and actually watch the program. I think that it's very important to have the right people in the right roles. And watching and being part of that team, Rick did so much, and we all know that, and he wore many hats. But I hope, and my concern is that Carbon County can get the correct person in that position, and a person that does understand what drug treatment court involves, and the lengths of that. And the point of, writing a grant, or, it's important that it's specified to drug treatment courts, and I can see that. But I have watched what drug treatment court's done for Carbon County alone, and we're blessed to have this program, and I'm honored that I was part of that. I myself have overcome addiction, and I still continue to be in recovery. I just celebrated 10 years opiate-free this month, December, and it's a struggle that I understand, and I also have that will to want to help others and to see others get out of that addiction. But without programs like this, we won't have that. And my brother also is part of the drug treatment program currently, so I'm also that family member now that's sitting back and watching and see this that point from that side. So I would be very sad with everyone else to see that the program would go somewhere. I hope that this can be worked out, and I thank you all for your hard work, because I understand that it's a lot in many different areas, and I hope that this works out. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to mention one thing about, you brought up of how hard it was to get the court started. I know Mr. Parsons, Mr. Greek, and Ms. Am here were all involved back then in trying to justify just to get the Veterans Court started. I think it's important to note how many people around that team that meet with these people on a weekly basis. You have the adult probation, you have the district attorney, public defender, you have a judge, the court staff, your coordinators, drug and alcohol, veterans representatives, career personnel, let's see, I'm missing drug and alcohol, and several other people involved, and I would say probably about a dozen people involved at any given time at one meeting, but there are so many others behind the scene that go put an effort into helping these people get out of the bad habits that they had and get back on the right track. So thank you for bringing that
And one
up.
other thing, it does take a village, like you said, you know, and it's life or death. That's how important it is, so, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Danielle Beers and I'm in drug treatment court. So I entered drug treatment. I'm in it for a long time. I stumbled, I fell. I stumbled, I fell. And with the help of Judge Matika, drug and alcohol and probation, I'm back on track, and I've been doing very well. And if it wasn't for drug court, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest with you. It's gotten me closer to my family. It's just so much. And I think, like, everybody here is a testament that it works. And it would be...
And I'm gonna maybe continue again on my track, but I think like, and even Joe or Rick can attest to this, I think we were the example for the state. I mean, when we go to CCAP, other counties that don't have it, they inquire on how this can be done. And to get rid of this would be a crime. And I said, maybe people got the wrong interpretation that we're getting rid of it. We're not. I mean, that's my point, and I'm sure the other two commissioners are, that it's not gonna happen. But I said, it just has to be run right, and I don't want it to go wrong. That's my point. I said, I've seen where you're at, and I think the one that was talking there, her husband was my neighbor. And I've seen things, I've spoke about 3 kids dying from our baseball team, our wrestling team, over the years, and I've seen it. And it's great to have a program like this, and you can't stop it. You know, it gotta keep rolling, but it gotta get bigger and bigger, and that's where I'm heading.
Anyone else?
We'll let him ask the question, maybe he has one.
Okay, I have one question. I have one question for you there, Sonny. What's your name? What's your name? Oh,
Garrett.
okay. All right. But thank you for coming today, sharing your stories. I think it's extremely important that not only we here sitting at the table hear it, I think the public needs to be fully aware of what is going on and the successes we have, the lives that have been saved, the families that have been brought back together. We have our losses. We have maybe a 1% success rate, very low failures. Takes a while, and I have seen them. I used to attend on a regular basis on the Veterans Court in particular, not too often in the specialty courts, but there's ups and downs. They do good, they fall, they get back up, and that's what's important. Get back up, reach out to your team and those that are there for you. It doesn't end after you graduate from drug court or veterans court, specialty court. It's continuing. If you feel you need that help again, the call, I think everyone in that team has told you many times, do not hesitate to reach out for help. They are there for you. When you graduate, it's not over. It's a continuing battle for all of you, and I wish you all success. Okay? Okay, can we move on now? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me, I do have a letter here from the Doyle Heffley, from the Representative Heffley. I'd like to read it real quick. Dear Carbon County Commissioners, I write to you today with my concerns and the concerns of community members that I had met with, that the Carbon County treatment courts may cease to exist if the county commissioners do not continue the support of the continuation of these programs. These specialty courts across the Commonwealth have proven to be successful in reducing recidivism rates and assisting those who struggle with addiction to get this into successful treatment programs. We all know that what the toll is, that the addiction crisis has caused families in Carbon County area. According to Pennsylvania's opioid dashboard, there are 1,465 individuals known to be struggling with addiction in Carbon County, with 37 overdose deaths in 2021 alone. We cannot solve every problem. The Carbon County treatment courts have been incredibly successful in helping those who have come before it to turn their lives around, with an estimated 40 graduates between the Veterans Court and the Drug Court, and to date, none of the relapsed into the county criminal justice system. And that is something to be proud of. While I understand the financial constraints of Carbon County, I feel that it is important to continue the programs that have been proven to be successful. The funding of hiring a specialty court coordinator and grant writer would allow the program to continue, while at the same time allow the county to apply for state and federal grants coupled with opioid settlement dollars to continue to fund this operation. As always, my staff and I are here to assist the county at any level, and we look forward to working with and together to combat the overdose addiction epidemic that has destroyed the lives of so many in our community. Sincerely, Doyle Heffley, Pennsylvania State Representative, 122nd District. Okay, now we can move on.
Okay, the next item is the report of executive session, Sal.
All these executive sessions were for personnel reasons. Thursday, January 5th, 10 a.m. Friday, January 6th at 9:45 a.m. Tuesday, January 10th at 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m.
The next item is the budget transfers for the years 2022 and 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures. An approval of check number 233562 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account. For the capital projects fund, $3,188.48. This is a ratify, please.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 233563 through 233744 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $1,273,624.66.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
Move to
No,
accept.
second.
Yep.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second.
Or acknowledged.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it is approved.
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong one.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion to acknowledge.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Boards and authorities, the Airport Authority, a reappointment to a 5-year term to expire December 31st, 2027. Mr. Wallace Potowski of Lehighton.
Move to reappoint.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The Correctional Facility, for approval and execution, the quote received from Access Control Systems Incorporated of Milford, New Hampshire, to purchase an Ion Scan 600 at a cost of $33,098.19, including a 3-year warranty at a cost of $8,144, shipping $137.50, on-site training of 10 people at a cost of $5,931.25, for a total of $47,310.94. This is under CoStar's contract number 4400016287 and number 4400023857.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The county policy for clarification, for adoption, policy number 2023-01, clarifying a previous policy enacted on February 4th, 2005, outlining allowable meal expenses and reimbursement of costs to employees while on travel status. Maximum amounts to be reimbursed are $10 for breakfast, $15 for lunch, $25 for dinner. This is not a change in the policy and only provides clarification.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Courts, district court offices. For approval and execution, the proposal received from Vistacom of Allentown, Pennsylvania, to purchase Poly Systems for the 4 magisterial district offices at a cost of $19,245.60, including 5-year Vistacom managed services plus Polygold Seal at a cost of $16,043.40, for a total of $35,289. The proposal includes the equipment, installation, and training under CoStar's Agreement 034-E22-156.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Liquid Fuels, for approval and submission, the annual report to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the Liquid Fuels Tax Fund, account listing an unencumbered balance of $147,887.39 as of December 31st, 2022, listing the encumbrances for Packer Township, Penn Forest, and the Guide Rail Project.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For approval and submission, the annual report to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation showing the balance of Act 89 funds for calendar year 2022. Balance is $482,582.23, and it is a reporting requirement for funds which the county received and can only be utilized for construction, reconstruction, maintenance, and repair of bridges.
Move to approve and submit.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Act 44, annual report to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Reporting balance of Act 44 funds for calendar year 2022 in the amount of, I believe that might be a typo there, balance as of December 31st, 2021 should be 22, in the amount of $333,617.23. It is a reporting requirement for the county for the funds received and can only be utilized for construction, reconstruction, maintenance, and repair of bridges.
Motion approved with the change of the 22.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Planning and Development for ratification, the award of funding in the amount of $50,000 from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the Municipal Assistance Program Grant for the term of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2025 Funds will be utilized to update the Carbon County Comprehensive Plan and Greenway Plan.
Move to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Fair housing, execution and submission of the fiscal year 2022 Fair Housing Annual Report as required by the Community Development Block Grant and Emergency Solutions Grant Program.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Procedure considerations for approval. Invite via official correspondence.
I'm
You-
sorry, Ellie.
Excuse me?
The order, did we hit those?
Yeah,
last?
I think you
Oh, I'm
missed the
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I did miss that.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
CDBG fiscal year, Jim Thorpe Borough for approval and execution. A proposal received from LB Water Service Incorporated of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, to purchase materials for fiscal year 2020 Jim Thorpe Borough Cherry Avenue water main replacement at a total cost of $34,293.05 under CoStar's contract number 016E22-21.
Motion approved and executed.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Procedure considerations. For approval, invite via official correspondence, municipality elected officials to attend a designated weekly public meeting of the Board of Commissioners for the purpose of presenting an annual State of the Municipality overview to the Board of Commissioners, attending public, and media.
Move to approve.
I mean, I'll second this just to forward the motion, but what is any different than what we do to extend out to the municipalities to come anytime they want? I mean, I don't know why we have to actually have a policy for that. I don't know what everybody else thinks about it, but,
I see no reason. Hey, you can certainly come at any given time to our meetings, but to request them to come and do a state of the municipality overview, and attend a public meeting, as a county meeting, so that is something they should be doing at their municipal level.
Yeah, but
And
at
I
the,
don't see why we have to personally invite them. Did you ever invite them at one of the COG meetings?
we invite them to all the COG meetings.
Well,
We
not
invite
at the
them to all.
COG, but at the COG meetings, invite them to the commissioners meeting. And we talked about this last year, the same thing.
We invite them all the time, but
Well,
let me state, right, the State of the Municipality presentation to the Board of Commissioners, or the board, right, really serves as an opportunity via the public forum with significant media coverage and social media broadcasting reach, in which elected bodies of the borough and township level have afforded the occasion to present their priorities, accomplishments, and issues to increase both citizen and commissioner awareness, thereby creating a base of common situational awareness that results in a higher prospect of understanding and collaboration between the borough's townships Board of Commissioners. There's nothing like a nice invitation to invite them in a regular fashion to come before this board and take advantage of the opportunity that this particular meeting presents. It's unrealistic to think that the commissioners can be out attending sufficient municipality meetings to have a good understanding of what is occurring in the municipality. Sure, we can get it from the Times News, the Standard Speaker, Blue Ridge Cable, but I will tell you, how much have you read on Lower Toe or the other smaller municipalities, right? The coverage isn't there for us to gain sufficient situational awareness to understand what is occurring. So I would always beg the question, what does it hurt inviting municipality representatives formally to this meeting to present as they may desire, so that we can better understand their issues and challenges? I will tell you, I do not understand the logic or reasoning of my colleagues on this. They can say there's an open invitation, but there's an open invitation to come up to my house on Christmas morning. Do you show up? No. But I can assure you, if I sent you an invitation, a personal invitation, desiring your attendance, you're more than likely to show up and present your views and wish greetings of the season. So again, I don't understand the logic and rationale of my colleagues. A copy of the concept was once again provided to the press. It's in your email inboxes.
Was that sent to us?
You saw this in 2021, 2022, and now it's out there on 2023.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second.
Further discussion here. I don't have a problem so much. You can send your invite, dude, if you would like to come and present at the meeting, please contact. Something simple, a simple invite, you're invited to the meeting, and let's see how many show up.
And I think like this summer, well, the summer and the fall, I had like 2 zoning meetings, and I invited everybody. And I think 20-some showed up, and it's like, what's wrong with us just sending it out to the municipalities and just do it? I don't see where we have to have a motion to say, okay, that's what we wanna do, and put it in our, send it out. It don't matter to me. Send, if you wanna do that, Chris, I'm fine with it, but I don't think we need a motion to do that. I mean, extend out to them. I did it for all the zoning meetings. I send it to every municipality. And I think I had 27. If you need the list, I can give you the list, or if you want me to send it out to them, I could extend it out to them.
Call for the vote.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
I don't think we have to, but we'll send an invite. I'll go yes on this one.
Okay. Next item, for approval. Commence renegotiation of the hotel tax distribution terms of Act 18 Hotel Occupancy Tax Contract between the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau, Carbon County Chamber and Economic Development Corporation, the official county tourism promotion agency, and the government of Carbon County.
Move to approve.
Not hearing a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Next item for approval. Establish no later than January 31 of 2023, a working group to develop a roadmap within 90 days for the gradual elimination of non-essential Carbon County government's 23 post office boxes at the U.S. Post Office in Jim Thorpe, which currently costs the taxpayers in excess of $50,000 annually, measured in time, salaries, and efforts.
Move to approve.
Hearing no second, motion dies for lack of a second. For approval, institute a revised Mock Chunk Lake Park admission policy that prioritizes Mock Chunk Lake Park beach access on Saturdays, Sundays, and county holidays during the swimming season to county residents, includes Coaldale residents attending the Panther Valley School District, season membership holders, senior citizens, veterans, Mock Chunk Lake Park campers, and pavilion renters.
Move to approve.
I'd like to table this maybe for another week, because last night, in fact yesterday, I talked to a couple of the board members, and this is something that, what is it gonna cost us? How is the operations gonna keep going? I mean, there's a lot of things that should be reviewed on this. And last year, when it was closed at certain times, the vendors came in and they complained that they wanted money back. So this is gonna affect everything, and I think this has to come from a recommendation from the committee that's there. Let them analyze it and I think when COVID closed us, I think I could be wrong, but I think they said somewhere around $16,000 was brought in, but the annual is $150,000. So where are we gonna get the money to keep this going? And I think sometimes we have to go in a different direction, and I was always, if we're charging our county people so much, and if we wanna try and regulate it a little bit, then alter the fee to come in. Just like our parking lot. I mean, the parking lot, we have it, I think it should be if people are coming here and they're on the weekends, they're gonna pay $35 no matter where they're at. And, you know, I think I would like to have this table just for that reason, because where is this gonna put us financially, you know? And I don't wanna have it that we run out of funds and then we're taking it out of other funds, out of the parking lot, and then next thing, what is gonna happen here? Is the park gonna be you know, just a private swimming area for people? I mean, I need more information on this, and I'm not saying it's not a good idea, Chris, it's just, we need more information provided on us to make a decision.
I would agree. We don't have a revised policy at this time, correct?
There is not a revised policy.
Okay, we're going back to just like we have with the job descriptions, unless we see it. But I would support that, and how are we gonna control it? Because, you know, the people that get turned away from Beltsville or other areas, I just fear for the safety of the people that are refusing to allow someone in too, is another issue, and how are we gonna handle that? So I would agree with Mr. Warner. Either we get a second on the motion to table, or let it die for lack of second and work on it.
So I'll make some comments. The Parks and Rec Commission received the overview of this in October. We're 3 months past that. They have not provided any input.
And to my understanding, tomorrow this is gonna be discussed at their meeting. Am I correct about that?
I haven't seen their agenda yet. I
Well,
don't
that's
know
what I
if
was
it's
told
been.
yesterday, so.
I don't know
I
if
think
it's
making
been.
a decision is a little premature if they're gonna, I mean, we don't vote on things before things are recommended to us, I think.
No, that's fair enough. Again, though, let me continue. So the estimate of the loss based upon the policy, which only really has restrictions on Saturdays and Sundays and 3 holidays, is about $50,000 to $60,000. All right, so I do know that there is a sponsorship that was received by Mock Chunk Lake Park of $50,000 for the next 5 years. There's $50,000. Also, those who follow me know that out of 101 days at Mock Chunk Lake Park in the swimming season, looking at 2022, 29 days the park was unable to charge admission due to a lack of sufficient lifeguard coverage. You need to have at least 2 lifeguards to charge admission. If you average out the 101 days, bring in about $2,000 a day. Obviously, we have spikes on Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, and extremely warm days. So talking about, you know, how do you make up any potential revenue downfall? First and foremost is you look at increasing the lifeguard coverage days, and that's through incentives. And something HR has been talking to Mock Chunk Lake Park about. So you increase the number of lifeguard coverage days, which increases admission. You increase the number of county users and other users. I would say the initiative with Carbon Transit of the beach bus on Carbon Transit. Atlanta will be speaking about that next month. A shuttle that runs between Mock Chunk Lake Park, Jim Thorpe, Nesquehoning, Lansford, and Summit Hill to Mock Chunk Lake Park, again increasing the number of users. Promote the memberships, which currently stand at $477, and modify the membership fees to be closer to the actual value of the experience that Mock Chunk Lake Park provides. Event user fees. For example, we have numerous organizations that use Mock Chunk Lake Park for a value that is very much undervalued. Look at what we charge Light at the Lakes, a good cause, but look at the minimal fee we provided them, barely covering our expenses and wear and tear. So another opportunity to raise revenue. So the opportunities for revenue are limited by our imagination and are willing to throw on the table different options and considerations. But I do believe it would be appropriate for the Parks and Rec Commission to take a look at this finally and formally and come back to us. So therefore, let's go ahead, direct the Parks and Rec to formally examine this and return to us in March with their recommendation. Now, I will state up front, if you watch the Parks and Rec meetings, which I live stream, they have been a quite passive board. Very good, a lot of experience, but passive in nature. But I am gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that they will actively and aggressively look at this, because we realize it is in the best interest of Carbon County and the residents and their quality of life and experience. Again, we never want Mock Chunk Lake Park to become synonymous with Beltsville. And if we don't take a measure to prevent that, that's what you will have. No one 10, 15 years ago would ever think Beltsville is where they are today, but they are. Fortunately, Carbon County has a lake that we lease that we can actually control and ensure the quality experience, but not unless we take action and not maintain and sit back on a status quo. That's all I have.
Okay, so we do have a motion
I made a motion.
to table.
Yeah.
Do you have a time frame?
I would suggest when the park board comes back with their,
Yeah, when they have it,
When
like,
they
at least
present-
we'd have a
you
little,
go to the board meeting, just
No.
ask them to do something and submit it to us, and we'll look at
I
it.
would say the first Thursday after the February meeting, because again, you want them to kind of take tomorrow's discussion and have a
so
chance to meet.
is that
It
when
would be
is
the
the second, or the third week
They
it would be?
meet the second Friday of the week.
So it would be the third, it would be
Yeah.
presented, and they could
Yeah.
actually even come to the meeting.
Yeah.
You know, if they wanna do that, so it'd be the third Thursday
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
month, okay.
Okay, so that's the motion, to table until recommendation is received from the park board after their February meeting.
Let's get an actual date
You
on
want an
that if we
actual
could. Yeah, absolutely. Because otherwise we'll be here on Memorial Day weekend, that Thursday.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, do they meet on the 10th or the 17th?
It would be the 10th, if that's the
10th.
second Friday.
That's the second
Yeah,
Friday.
that's when they would meet. It would be the 16th, 16th of February, right?
Right.
Yeah, so table until the 16th of February.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you need me to say it again? No?
No, I'm just concerned about the agenda,
Yeah.
you know, because the 16th is the actual meeting day for the commissioners. We have to have it posted on the 15th.
Well, we'll have it as an agenda item. We'll post it on the 15th as an agenda item. They come back with nothing, they come back with nothing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll call for the roll.
You need a second.
Yeah, I'll second, or
Well,
anybody,
whoever.
right, yeah.
Who seconded that? Chris?
Yeah,
I thought
either.
Chris did.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next item, for approval, direct the county solicitor to commence the necessary research for the option of invoking eminent domain by the county of Carbon for the public purpose of protecting Mock Chunk Lake and Mock Chunk Lake Park from the ill effects of actual or potential encroachment by private or commercial development, to include on Carbon County parcel 106-40.83, deed book 2513-373. The solicitor will provide his report that will include legal authority, process, time estimate, and other factors that he deems relevant to the Board of Commissioners within 60 days.
Move to approve.
I will second that on discussion. I think this is something that we sent a letter to Jim Thorpe on our stance on it. And I'm not a person that's in the condemnation of property. I think people own their property and it's theirs. And what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go from this and then maybe if we need more room, are we gonna condemn a property next door? I don't think that's the way to go. And this was put to Jim Thorpe the way it was, and I go back to my zoning meetings that I had. We had in these studies, and I think one of the people is here that gave one of the presentations, and the adverse effect that can happen when you do something wrong. And they were made aware of it, and I think Jim Thorpe is the one that should stand good for this. I think, you know, if the people don't want it, then they should go to meetings and tell them. Because this has been a discussion that they were presented that it could affect the water, they take water out of there, and just the overall, like of just the community. Like, what is it turning into? You know, when it was presented to us in the first place, it was 10 places. You know, what's it gonna turn into? Is it gonna turn into more? Are they gonna have the storage to back it up? And I said, if you don't have the proper sewerage in, one of them out of the 10 would leak and their water supply is done. So I hope they know the adverse effects of what could happen with this project. And I think they should look at it a little bit more than us condemning the property. I think that's their responsibility. I think we take responsibility for make sure that everything is, you know, we're doing the elections, we're doing aging, we're doing children and youth. That is their job to protect their community, not ours. I mean, we voiced our opinion to it already, and whatever decision they make, we're gonna have that, and that's on them, you know? And like I go back to it, condemning land, I don't think is the way. I think they should make the correct decision on what the adverse effects are gonna happen to their community.
Mock Chunk Lake Park is in my portfolio. It's in the Board of Commissioners' portfolio. It's a lease agreement we have, and we have an inherent right to protect that lake and the recreational experiences that it provides our county residents and visitors to this great county. Carbon County Board of Commissioners did state to the Borough of Jim Thorpe that we are resolute in our commitment to protect Mock Chunk Lake Park and the creek, and prepared to take any and all steps as necessary. The fact is, the only way to protect Mock Chunk Lake Park from septic or runoff from development is to go ahead and seize at a fair market value, purchase, let's use that term if that sounds better, at fair market value, using our legal authorities, to acquire that property. Because regardless if it's 10 homes on septic or 60 homes on a sewer system, there are notable ill effects that are likely to occur. Fish and Boat will tell you it, DEP will tell you it, even the Borough of Jim Thorpe will tell you. But at the end of the day, Mock Chunk Lake Park isn't the responsibility of the Borough of Jim Thorpe. It's the responsibility of the 3 men who have been elected to look after the best interests of the citizens of Carbon County. And I'll always be the lead, and I don't need to be a follower on this. We need to do what's right. We need to do it now. We need to move forward with having the solicitor do the necessary research, so when the time comes for a potential decision, we're ready to act and not sitting here watching 65 homes get built or on-lot septic going onto that property. And then maybe not this year or next year or 10 years from now, but at some point, we see a degradation of the quality of the experience at Mock Chunk Lake Park. And that's all I have.
While I am deeply concerned about the quality of water in Mock Chunk Lake Park, I am sure that the Borough of Jim Thorpe is equally concerned, since they withdraw water for their water supply and drinking. But I cannot support anything that would take property from an individual, as Mr. Arner stated, where does it end? I cannot support that, legal or not, and I cannot, even if it was legal, I will not support proceeding with it and wasting our funds if it's not gonna pass.
Wasting our funds? What funds are you referring to?
well, they are wasting our time, let's put it that way, in seeking, the ability to, do this. I just can't see it. So, call for the vote.
Point of order. And again, you know, I'm kind of tired of this. If we're going to adopt parliamentary procedure, hold on. If we're going to adopt parliamentary procedure as we did on January 6, 2020, which we're going to adhere to Robert's Rules of Order, no one individual ends or terminates discussion. Discussion terminates by a vote. If I want to sit here and talk for another 10 minutes until a vote is taken to terminate, that's how it works. So again, we're going to play by the rules or not. Then if we're not, then we need to go back and rescind the motion of 6 January 2020. Because I'll tell you, I'm going to come at folks, right? I'm going to come at you with lawfare. I'm going to come at you with fiscal concerns. I'm going to use parliamentary procedure, and all after using logic and reasoning, right? I'm going to come at you every single way. And again, let's play by the rules or let's throw the rules out, and let's have chaos.
Yes, Mr. Lukasevich, I thought you were done. You continue then.
I am now done.
I rest my case. Call for the vote.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
No.
Mr. Notstein?
No. Made a big stink over nothing.
A point of order. Again,
You said
after
you were done. You
after
did
all
that.
these years,
Okay.
Commissioner, I would expect you to understand parliamentary procedure. It's not your first day in the rodeo.
So you never listened to me before on certain things. Okay, let's move on.
Next item, the Sheriff's Department for approval and execution. Annual maintenance agreement with Johnson Controls. Fire protection, of Allentown, Pennsylvania. For CCTV security camera system located in the Sheriff's Department for the term of February 1, 2023 through January 31, 2024. The total annual cost, $9,078. This is an increase of $431.15. Pennsylvania State Contract number 44000, 23962.
Motion approved, next two.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Horner, would you like me to read the next motion?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Vehicle fleet financing for ratification. Proposal submitted by Enterprise Fleet Management of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for one additional vehicle under the Vehicle Fleet Financing and Maintenance of the Master Open-End Equity Lease Agreement approved April 27, 2017, agenda number 17-159, and renewed on July 28, 2022, agenda number 22-368. Vehicle is for the term of 60 months, a 2022 Dodge Ram with a 9-foot plow, salt spreader, dump body, no maintenance agreement, at $1,610.09 per month, with a capitalized price reduction, upfront charge of $18,994.82.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
ZNA for approval and execution. Letter of agreement with Zelenkowski Axelrod LLC of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for financial consulting services for the year 2023 for a fee not to exceed $91,000. Hourly rate has increased from 250 to 260. Maximum number of hours increased from 250 to 350.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Solicitor's report.
Thank you. For the animal shelter, for approval of, or to reduce the price of an adoption from $100 to $50 at the animal shelter for the month of February, Love a Dog Month.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For children and youth, seeking approval and execution of a fourth extension to the consulting agreement of August 12th, 2021 with Kelly Noble of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, to provide fiscal services to the Children and Youth Services Department, extending that agreement to June 30th of 2023. All of the other terms of that agreement remain in full force and effect.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Concerning the courthouse renovation project for ratification of change order number 4 to the contract with Boyle Construction Incorporated of Allentown, Pennsylvania, to include Geringer Corporation to conduct the roof inspection by drone. The inspection will include evaluating the slate roof tile, wall flashings, roof penetration, snow rails, pole gutter, and leaders and valley and hip flashings, including a roof report with photos. This change order increases the contract by $850 for a new contract total of $819,412.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For janitorial services, seeking approval and execution of addenda to the agreements with independent contractors for janitorial services at the Carbon County Magisterial District offices and Carbon County Office of Aging. The addenda amend agreements increasing compensation with Rachel Sterner, $300 per month, representing an increase of $62.50 per month. Cynthia Roberts, $300 per month, representing an increase of $62.50 per month. Gloria Otto, $300 per month, representing an increase of $50 per month. And Linda Pugliese, $300 per month, representing an increase of $50 per month. The increases in compensation will be effective retroactively to January 1st, 2023.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Nothing further for the solicitor's report.
Any further business? Hearing none, Commissioner Honor?
I just want to comment on, I think I want to thank the people for coming in and bringing this to our attention about, I think things have been resolved about the issue with this position. And I wish everybody would come instead of, doing Facebook and trying to get answers all the way. And I'm hoping they all got the answers today. And I think, I don't want to speak for the other two commissioners, but we want this drug court to move forward, keep it. And I said, like, some of the things, I don't know if they have any questions, like with Zelenkovsky, I think we're gonna try something a little bit different here and try to get things done and the salaries and everything, and that's why, Jeff Weiss from Zelenkovsky, the hours went up on him. And hopefully we can have the budget done before the election, which everybody, I think, is looking for. And I think for that roof flyover, we did not, the person that works on our roof now could not do what we wanted to do. So that's why that Boyle was actually increased, that it would be actually in, but it would be in the project, but we want to get that done as soon as possible. And I don't know what else to go over. I mean, the janitors, janitorial services, I always thought they were underpaid. And, well, we gave them something. So, otherwise than that, that's all I have.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Nothing.
Mr. Notstein?
Nothing. Okay, we'll adjourn the commissioners' meeting. Ready, we'll call the monthly meeting for the election board to order.
The first item is the approval of the minutes of the election board meeting held on November 11th, 2022, and reconvened December 8th, 2022.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Yes, concerning election board business. Ms. Workman.
Yes. I'm Lorraine Workman from Palmerton. I am the minority inspector for the West Board, the 49th District. What direction do we have to take to get our, where we vote the pole change. We are now in the borough garage, and that is not a safe place for us to be. There's a grate going through the center of the garage. They cover it with this big rubber mat, but we have to still watch that people don't trip on it. The doorway coming in, it's hard for some people with the wheelchairs to come through it. That's the only entrance coming in because the other door, there's no door handle on it. Last year, they had this big propane tank with a heater on top that heated the place. This year, they brought a small propane tank with this industrial heater that blew the heat out. And at 5 o'clock, nobody was there to change it. Thank goodness our judge of election, Dan Geisinger, was there to change it over to another tank. And it's us as well as the middle district there. And it's just not the proper place for us.
Was that always a location that was, or was it changed,
Well,
or?
we were at West End Firehouse, and then the
Okay.
firehouse was sold.
Yep.
And then COVID came, so then they combined the middle district and us, and we were at the new firehouse. But the new firehouse, the firemen say it's inconvenient for them, they'd have to take all their equipment out for those 2 times a year. We are trying to see why they can't check into the Sokol Hall. That has a ramp, that has a parking lot, to see why we can't go there. I can see why they can't do it at the Borough Hall, because I'm almost sure the ladies' room is upstairs, and it would be too inconvenient. And the only other place I know, which I don't even know they'd allow, is the Catholic Church. There's nothing else available. That's why we were thinking the Sokol Hall, they had the ramp, they had the parking lot.
And is
Plus,
there-
they wouldn't have to bring the tables and chairs in because they're there.
Is there any voting at where the senior center was anymore, or is that not there either?
The senior center, that's
They-
another district.
Okay, they still have it there
Yeah,
yet,
that's
but
at
that's
the
right,
ambulance
near the
building,
fire
right.
company, like the
Right.
fire company just,
Exactly. But we're real, it's just, it's very inconvenient.
Ms. Wortman, numerous times we've engaged with the Borough of Palmerton, elected officials and employees in regards to the fire hall. Other municipalities throughout the county allow use of their fire stations for a slight quote-unquote inconvenience. I consider it to be unfortunate that hall, the fire department building, is not being allowed to be utilized by you all. But I do believe the election director needs to look again at Sokol Hall to see if it might be more suitable.
We have been to council meeting, we have contacted Lisa constantly, even private citizens have contacted her. And it just seemed, we contacted Doyle, it just doesn't seem, you know, nobody's making a headway of it. And being elections coming in May, and we had the most, our district, we have 500, we're low. But this past election, we had 255 people vote, which was really shocking for us. Middle had over 700, and they're sharing the same place with us. And we feel it would be a lot easier if we could get the Sokol, and a lot safer.
Okay, we'll have to look into it
Yeah,
more,
we'll-
Ms. Workman,
Okay, I
and see if we
appreciate
can't find an alternate location. I don't know if anyone has ever spoken to either one of those facilities, if they would be willing to open up their doors for elections. So, we'll have to check into that,
Okay, I think we both, all of us, the 3 of us, I mean,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other guests? Further business? Hearing none, meeting adjourned. Amy?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Staying on the election topic, I see Lisa's resignation here.
Yeah.
So how is that going to affect the county now?
Big time, real big time. We are looking to advertise as soon as possible to get the ball rolling. We'll be addressing it shortly. We all realize that there's no way that we can hire someone before Lisa leaves, so it will not even be a training position, but we're hoping to have it posted shortly.
Amy, 22 months ago, we hired an assistant director, and specific in her, as she was selected, in her duty position was the responsibility to pick up the slack in the absence of the election director. I am fully confident that until a permanent director is hired, once Lisa departs, that they will be able to manage the office and run an effective and efficient, transparent election, just like we always have.
Thank you. That's all I have then. Thank you.
Kelly,
The letter that you read from Doyle Heffley, can I have a copy of that?
okay,
The clarification on the policy regarding meals, why was that necessary?
just a word, for the meals. Because what it did not include before was the tax, for the
It needed
meals and
to be
that.
written.
So, and it wasn't only there, we've run into an issue where a caseworker was out and had to make purchase on their own credit card, and they were not being reimbursed for the taxes when they're performing, their duties as a caseworker in children and youth. And, we had to change some wording in the policies to ensure that they would be reimbursed for the taxes and still maintain the maximum allowable expense for the meals.
So to ensure taxes, the reimbursement was inclusive of taxes, where there was some discrepancy or discussion, was it or was it not? And working with the controller's office and, legal counsel and otherwise, determined, yes, it should be duly compensated, and that's the decision that's been reaffirmed, really.
Okay. And please refresh my memory. What is the status of the coordinator for the treatment courts?
Well, it was approved in the salary board, and it's a matter of funding, and I know Mr. Warner's concerned. I just have a little bit of a different of opinion. Yeah, it's, in my opinion, yeah, I don't want that person doing other grants as well. If it's for grants, it's for the court system. Then that person would know better than an outside grants person on where to go for the grants, how it could be spent. So, in my opinion, if it has to be spelled out that way in a job description, I don't know if that would satisfy Ms. Arner's concerns, that is strictly just for the court system and looking into the different grants through the AOPC or whatever, just to keep those different courts functioning. And, well, not only courts, it could be other things within their realm.
So, was that approved?
It was approved,
Was
yeah,
approved.
it was
It's a matter
approved,
of
it was
funding
just,
it.
my no vote was just for that reason, it wasn't that I didn't want it. I just needed settled down with that person, and I said, like, Rick went above his duty. I mean, and like, I think Paul got the grant, Rick helped him do that, but I just don't, and if it's court related and they were, trying to cut down recidivism, and it's a little bit different, but then when you go to, like I said, I don't think they need to do grants for furniture. It's as simple as that.
Have you hired for that position?
I don't, no, I
It's not
don't.
funded.
Yeah, it's not, not
Yeah.
yet, yeah. And I said I go back to the funding. To me, the other salaries are a different situation. And if it wasn't in the budget, that it wasn't in there for the 40,000, my opinion of it is, how do we do that? Do we adjust the salary? Adjust the budget? But it has to be done, and it's funds that come that we're gonna get for 2 years. The issue I think that we're gonna have, and like with Paul's got that position, and it worked great, and now it's, should be in the budget. And I think that's how this should be handled also. Put it through as what as what the grant said, and I don't think it's any discrepancy over the taxpayers' money, because there's money that we're getting in. Is it a technical error that it wasn't in the budget to be funded? But I don't think we should go by that because I think it should be handled a little bit different because it's from a grant. And we realize that in 2 years from now, it's gonna be on our plate. And I would like to see it on our plate and move forward. And I think this is the way that if we approve it, like the way that it is, and go through with it funded through that grant, we're gonna gauge better in the next 2 years if this actually works, you know, and it has in the past. And I don't think we should stand on, you know, where the money's coming from. I think we have to find money to do it. It's plain and simple as that. If we have to find something and pay for it and then get funded afterwards, I mean, that's my opinion of it. But because if you do sit here and make it a budget issue, then it won't be done. And then that would, to me, that would be a shame us for that.
Kelly, 26 positions that were recommended for increases of salary beyond the complement are not funded, right? Those are gonna have to be discussed. The only positions that were funded with increases were the positions in the DA's office and the sheriff's. Also unfunded were the two positions, the treatment court coordinator, court grant manager, which we all, I think, at least Commissioner Arner and I clearly stated the concern was with the grant aspect of that those duties and responsibilities. And the other one was the IT specialist of courts. They have not been funded.
So what is the procedure from here? What do you do?
We have to make a decision on, are we gonna move funds to support those?
And I've already made my decision on the ones that are above.
Yeah.
But I said the ones that are grants, I think there's one or two of them that are through grants, I think should be handled a little bit different. And I think even, I think the sheriff was here, he gave up 3 positions to get 1 full-time. So actually, is that an even trade, or did we get more money put back into the pot? You know what I mean? Is there $2,000 more? Same with some other, other things. So there have been people that have been coming out to try to work with us to make it work. And put it this way, within the next week, we're gonna have to make that decision, and we're gonna have to make that decision on funding this. And I'm for funding this new position, as what I stated. I want that slash, whatever you wanna call it, it's like, it says, it shouldn't be. There should be separation. And I think I talked for 15 minutes before on it, and that's my view. And I said, it works, it gotta happen, and we're gonna have to find a way to fund that, even if we don't agree with the other funding.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have. Thank you.
All I have is $50,000 for your comprehensive planning greenway. What kind of all that entails?
That's the long-term plan. I think the current plan, I think it's 12 years old. And it gets 10 years old. I thought it was 10 years, but I thought we were behind schedule. Sorry. That's good to know we're not behind schedule yet, but it's gonna take a while to do the Greenways plan and how, and we have to go out to the local municipalities, and others will have input into updating the plan. What is our plan that where we're gonna keep green, and what's gonna really fall into the plan this time would be the ag preservation referendum that was just passed, so it's good timing for that, and how we can leverage those funds, farmland preservation, and it goes back to the comprehensive plan and municipalities of where we can preserve and carefully coordinate development to preserve our natural resources, because we are a tourism county. Unfortunately, we are not an ag county like we used to be. And Christmas tree growers, yes, and maybe a lot of grapes right now, but we still have a lot of land, and we want to protect that land from development.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
What was that?